Ayubowan, and welcome to Bigelow Tea.
Thank you for welcoming us. We are extremely honored to meet Cindi Bigelow in the Bigelow Tea Company, and it was a phenomenal tour that we had, which I'm sure we're going to get a little glimpse of in a little while. Would you like to give us a little history about the Bigelow Company? And
well, first of all,
started?
I'm so happy that you came to visit us. This is an honor for us. Our family company is almost 70 years old. It was actually started by my grandmother, Ruth Campbell Bigelow, and this is a book that my father wrote for her. It's called My Mother Loved Tea. And my grandmother was originally an interior designer, and when the Depression hit, she lost everything. My grandfather lost his job, and she wanted to get into a business that was a consumable but not a perishable. And she thought, in this country, we needed a quality tea. At that point, it was just plain black tea. So she created something called Constant Comment. She found an old colonial recipe, and she took years to perfect it. But the basis of Constant Comment to this day is Ceylon tea. So for us, Ceylon is so much part of our history and so much part of our success. And today I'm happy to say we are the #1 specialty tea company in the United States.
Which I can vouch for. All the high-end hotels carry your teas, and that's where I've firsthand experienced most of the teas. We're all big on
exposed to, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's fun. I actually just went to Sri Lanka. I am the first family member to go. I went this last December, and I have to tell you, it was the most beautiful experience, because here my family's committed to Ceylon teas. We use it at the basis of our Constant Comment, things like our English tea time. Beautiful product, so high-end, but I'd never been there. So when I went, I was so impressed with the knowledge and the passion of tea in Sri Lanka. Of course, that's what I should have seen, but when you're exposed to it, it's a whole nother world. And so we went high up into the mountains, because Bigelow only buys from the highest elevation mountain gardens. It's all hand-picked by these beautiful, beautiful people that have been doing this for a very, very long time, 160 years, I believe. Absolutely. I tried doing it. I wasn't nearly as good as they were. And what was special to me is when I got to be with our packers and our partners, really, that we had been with for years and years. They had tears in their eyes to meet a Bigelow family member, and it wasn't because it was Cindi Bigelow, it was the name Bigelow, and it was my parents, Eunice and David. That's who they really have had their years of experience with. And my parents have always been so passionate about getting the best Ceylon teas. And it was neat because the story they said to me was that they share with their teams in their factories in Sri Lanka that Bigelow is their standard for quality. And it meant so much to me. It was actually very humbling. It really gained a newfound respect for my parents, my grandmother, and their commitment to Ceylon. It was a beautiful trip, one I'll never forget.
Well, I think this can speaks for itself. I think this is an antique that's been since 1950s, I think, and then maybe you'd like to elaborate a little bit.
Oh, this is such a great story. When my grandmother first started, obviously our beautiful flavored Ceylon tea was a new concept, not well known. And they had to do everything they could. They had no money. So this is a one-color label that my father and his father used to sit around at night and color. And you'll sort of see the green and you'll see the red.
So it's hand-colored.
So they would, at night, hand paint these labels to make them multicolor, to make them stand out. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, because to be honest, they didn't even stay in the lines. But the story goes is that one day my grandfather turned to my father, David Sr., turned to David Jr., and he said, son, don't tell your mother, but I don't think this business is ever going to get anywhere. And my father still fondly remembers that story, and we were very happy that my grandfather was wrong and that Constant Comment has still prevailed and is still one of our #1 teas, and obviously the company is doing very, very well.
The storage silos, it goes down through the floor to the 4th floor to a 1,000-pound ribbon blender where we mix 1,000 pounds at a time. And we mix it for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. And then it will go down through the floor again to be bagged out into 50-pound bags. And at that point, it's our blended tea, which we would then send down to the production floor on the first floor to be turned into tea bags, or out to our 2 satellite plants, one in Louisville, Kentucky, or one out in Boise, Idaho, to be turned into tea bags, our finished product.
It's a very impressive tour that showed us every step of the way of how the teas are being bagged, and from bags to little tiny tea bags and sachets and iced teas. So it's very impressive. So I don't know if you want to give us a little overview of how the computers were tracking every box.
Well, basically, it starts right when we receive our tea. We would put a barcode label on it that would indicate where it came from, the date it arrived, so that we can track it all through the whole process, including when it gets out onto the shelf.
This is my parents, Eunice and David Bigelow. Again, it was founded by my grandmother Ruth, but it was really my parents that were the ones that put us fully into the tea business and also expanded the line to the pervasive line that you were just seeing against the tea wall. So they really ran this business unbelievably for about 50 years. So they deserve so much credit for sure. And they were the ones who really taught me about quality, taught me about the value of Ceylon. So I owe so much to them, as well as my grandmother.
We are honored to have you on our show because you represent the tea company in North America, and that's an honor for us to be able to highlight you and learn from you, and the energy that you provide us. I mean, it may be, I would like to attribute it to the teas. So maybe
absolutely, all this energy comes only from my Ceylon tea.
Which is a fantastic way to present teas for Sri Lanka, and how we grow them in the mountains.
Oh, absolutely, and that just that commitment to quality, for sure. Well, why don't I take you to what I call our famous wall of teas, so you can see how many teas we actually make.
That would be very nice to
Okay,
see.
Let's go.
Wall.
This is our famous wall of tea. It's been well picked over because we're doing so much work on our line, but we have almost 120 different teas. Our black teas, often the base is a Ceylon. It might even be a Ceylon mixed with other teas as well, but that's in our black tea line. So we are the #1 black tea manufacturer in the United States. We also have green teas as well. We're the #1 green tea in the United States as well, which I'm very happy about. Then we have our herbal line, which obviously nothing is from Sri Lanka in our herbal line, although you do have some wonderful spices in Sri Lanka. And then we also have our holiday line, which is really very fun. We have something for Valentine's Day, something for the fall, and then something for the winter, which has been extremely popular. And then, again, we have an organic line, and what do you see?
This is Ceylon tea.
Organic Ceylon. So organic Ceylon teas is really sprinkled throughout our entire line of 120 different teas, and we're so proud of our relationship with Ceylon, or Sri Lanka, and we're so proud of the teas that we buy there, and we are happy to be the #1 importer of Sri Lankan teas, Ceylon teas, in the United States. So what we're doing now is we're testing some of our Ceylon blends, Constant Common and Earl Grey. We do a lot of control work here to ensure the consistency as well. So they'll compare the tea bag version to the loose tea to ensure that it has all the right flavor top notes of the tea, as well as all the different various ingredients are coming out as well. And these are 2 of our most popular, Constant Common and Earl Grey, and again, the basis of those is Ceylon. They often have other blend teas in it, but for the most part, they are Ceylon.
So, well, as always, we first start with our good aroma. It's the good black tea has a good aroma and it's fresh, and so we absolutely have to make sure that something good comes through, and not weakened over the time of storage. And once we have that,
The color.
Like that, the color of the cup. Obviously, it's not done yet, but it's very important to have the right color.
It was interesting, Gabe, just to join in. When I was in Sri Lanka, obviously I was there, and they were, you know, going through 12,000 samples in 1 week before they go to auction. And amazing how they can quickly look at the brew and the wet leaf and assess it immediately, grade it, and tell you so much about it. And they all speak the same language in Sri Lanka. When I say that, I mean of tea. They have this lexicon of words. They know its value, its quality, just almost instantaneously. I was completely in awe seeing this 160-year tradition in full swing. It was fantastic, fantastic.
Yes, obviously the traditional tea trade evaluates the dry leaves, the wet leaves, and the cup at the same time, as you mentioned. But in this tasting, we just do the cup.
Yes. Oh, yes. No. It's a little different than in Sri Lanka. They use one, and then they use a spittoon. I love the spittoon. I keep telling my team, right, Nicole? We got to get a spittoon. They are so good at it.
Oh, no.
I would be drooling all over the place.
Yes.
So we actually swallow, which is not traditional. I think we're going to be changing that down the road a little bit, right, Gabe? So walk us through when you're going through what
again,
you're
the color should be accepted very coppery, like a coppery. Good black tea has very, very good appearance in a cup, and the descriptor of coppery, like red, is a very good descriptor, important, especially when some people add milk, but we'll do it later. Well, so after the aroma, we take a look at it, obviously the color, and then we taste. The tasting is very important because it tastes hot. We trying to spread out the liquid in our mouth and then make a judgment how it tastes, all the sensors in the mouth. It's very important. So I'm going to demonstrate it. It's kind of paleo kind of area man's sounds here, but okay, that's what goes.
Push, but we want to hear the same sound after you. All right, we're looking for a lot of sound here.
So basically, tasting like this.
That's our
also
our control.
not obvious, but whatever goes in, that's the air, and then you breathe out. Number one, this way you're able to taste hot tea, because the air coming out from the deep level breathing cools down your tongue and the receptors. At the same time, makes the experience full. So, and it's not according to Western etiquette, but that's how it goes, right? I mean, you see it authentically, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
you've now tried the control, right? We're just going to do the same thing. I'll try it after
Sure.
Gabe. So you're going to try the control, right? Now, constant comment is what we call sort of the original chai tea in this country. This is a Ceylon, but it is very carefully blended and aged with orange rind and sweet spices. So you're going to taste a spice, okay, with the tea. What Bigelow does very well is we blend a base tea, like a Ceylon, extremely well with the ingredients so they marry beautifully together, and that is the art of what Bigelow does. You have to have the perfect black tea base in order to create it. And both of these are flavored. So we have a Ceylon with the sweet spice and the orange rind, and then we have the oil of bergamot from Italy, also blended with a blend of black teas. So you're going to try this first. Obviously it's controlled, there's no tea bag paper. And then you want to make sure that what makes it into the tea bag is representative of what we feel is the control, right?
Don't be afraid to make a mess, doesn't matter.
Oh, we love messes and noise.
If you don't hear a lot of noise from me.
That was good. We'll take it. Okay, so you see, you're getting a very strong spice. I And my father happened to like Constant Comment with milk and sweetener, but that's how we grew up. We grew up.
Finally beginning to taste the real tea.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing.
Okay. The Earl Grey is a very different combination. It's a different black tea base, Ceylon included, but this is mostly all Ceylon. This is more of a blend. Okay. And then this is going to be with the oil of bergamot. Beautiful product. Oh yeah, very nice, very nice. Nice job.
Get in there.
Yeah, yeah, that's really a beautiful,
That's amazing.
beautiful. But again, what we do well is we ensure that the tea and the flavorings work to complement each other. It has to be the right marriage. So with that, we're excited that we could bring you into our lab where all our crazy R&D work is done, and it's our claim to fame is really our lab. It keeps our quality where it needs to be. They do all the buying here. They ensure that every blend is produced properly. So you're led into the secret vault of Bigelow Tea.
Oh, this is a phenomenal company that represents Sri Lanka tea as well. So and we're very proud to have you on our show. And I think your parents and your grandparents will be so proud of you for creating this energy in this whole setting. You have such exuberance that we would like to take with us and see how we can benefit from just enjoying this environment.
Thank you so much. And as I said, it's so sweet of you to come visit us. We really appreciate
Very
it.
proud.
Friends forever.
Thank you, and we will see you soon. Thank you.